الله وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعلى أصحابه المنتجبين وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: وما لكم لا تقاتلون في سبيل الله والمستضعفين من الرجال والنساء والولدان. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is due to our Creator, our Cherisher, our Nourisher, and our Sustainer. We bear witness there is none worthy of worship but Allah. We bear witness we believe in all the prophets who came in the great line of divine. And we bear witness the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam, is the final of all the emissaries of Allah. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, respected youth, I greet you with the Islamic universal greeting of peace. May the peace, the mercy and the blessings of Allah be upon each and every one present here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We are in the midst of a global annual 16-day campaign, a campaign against gender-based violence. And it is part of an international strategy to promote gender-based justice. And this was initiated in 1991, a 16-day period which was found convenient from the 25th of November, which is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and ends on the 10th December, which is the International Human Rights Day. Hence, these 16 days of activism. But it is an activism that needs to be manifested and focused on throughout the year. And we in South Africa have been witnessing the devastation associated with the recent spate of gender-based violence and of femicide, the killing of women because they are women. And of course we know that femicide, or the killing of women for being women, is obviously a hate crime. The South African Police Service has reported in the year 2017-2018 177,620 crimes specifically against women, and 37,000, of course, almost 36,371 was specifically sexual offenses and attacks on women in particular. For a nation that has gone through so much struggle, for a nation that prides itself on a culture and a philosophy of Ubuntu, of humanity to others, this kind of reality is an untenable reality. It's something that should not have been there, but the question is big: what can be done to reverse the situation or remove the plight we find ourselves in? So let's begin from the beginning and look at what Islam says and contextualize the whole notion of whether it be gender-based violence or activism against it. Just consider our own very humanity and our connection and our appreciation by the Divine Himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have privileged human beings. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah says, indeed, we are privileged and honored by Allah Himself, and Allah has honored the progeny of Adam. Not only that, Allah has designated us as Ahsan Taqween, as the best of creation. And the question is begged, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of all, designates us as Ahsan Taqween, what we call Takreemullah al-Insan, Allah honors the human being with that. That behooves us as human beings to honor ourselves as well. If Allah the Divine honors us as the best of creation, and He mentions, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, I've given honorability and dignity to the progeny of Adam, that is to human beings, it behooves us as human beings to honor ourselves as human beings. And foremost among the valuing of human beings is karamat insan, it is human dignity. You cannot say that you're honoring any person or that you have the notion of valuing a human being without karamat insan, acknowledging the dignity of every human being. And therefore, every human being, irrespective of the background of who they are worthy of sharaf and ihtiram. They're worthy of honor and of respect. For example, let me give a hadith of Rasulullah where he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, رأس العقل بعد الإيمان التودد إلى الناس. He says the essence of reasoning after accepting faith is to have compassion and love for all of humanity. واجتناع الخير, and to condition yourself to do good. إلى كل بر وفاجر, to do good to everyone, irrespective whether the person who you are doing good to is a good person or not a good person. Because the goodness emanates from the one with Iman. So goodness is what is expected from you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from us, people of faith, and as the hadith also says, that you love all humanity and do good to all, irrespective of whether they are good people or not good people. And with this activism against gender-based violence, there is something that needs to be put into the centermost focus of Karamatul Insan, and that is Karamatul Nisa, that is the honoring of our women. This is one of the ways we can have a restorative action to reinsure that the dignity and honor of women and of children, of course, are reinstituted. And the demand for protection and safety and courageous leadership is what is required at this specific time. We have been listening to the cries of anguished people, anguished women, anguished youth, whether it be on public radio or social media. We've heard their beautifully courageous voices at the various pickets, at the various marches and protests across the cities in our land and in other parts of the world. And our collective breath is taken away by their fear, by their anxiety, by their despair. The cries of these ladies are given a voice in the Quranic supplication. Allah, for example, speaks about fighting the cause of Allah, but it's equally applicable if we reflect on the situation we find ourselves. The first read, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ. Allah asks, and what is your excuse? Why don't you fight? Why don't you speak out, get up, be active, be engaged, oppose those men, women and children who are undergoing oppression or injustice. رَبَّنَا أَخْرِجْنَا مِنْ هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ الظَّالِمِ أَهْلُهَا. Those who are making dua, oh Allah, save us from the place within which there are people who are oppressing and doing wrong to us. So as people of faith, it not only applies in situations of war and of other jihad on the battlefield, but also as a restorative action in our society. So the verse says, Rabbana, Allah, save us from this place. Take us from this place. It doesn't mean literally remove us, but remove the situation we find ourselves in. And most importantly, when you look at the specter of femicide, where people are being killed, either children or young girls or females, it requires us to listen very attentively, because it seems that we become deaf and numb to the realities around us. We become so accustomed to violence, so accustomed to kidnappings and killings, it has become the norm, and that is a danger. Because in our being quiet, in our silence, there is a degree of complicity. In our being used to this, we have become and made this the norm. So most importantly, the specter of the gender-based violence requires us to listen to these utterly helpless women and children. And as the Quran says, the kind of listening required in these kind of contexts, لِمَنْ كَانَ لَهُ قَلْبٌ أَوْ أَلْقَى السَّمْعَ وَهُوَ شَهِيدٌ. Everyone whose heart is wide awake to the calls and the pleas and to the realities. And those who lend their ear with a conscious mind. لمن كان له قلب أو ألقى السمع وهو شهيد. They lend an ear, but an ear that's attentive, that's present, listening with an inner depth of our heart, and which is the seat of our intuitive justice. Very often we hear, and the Quran is very clear, very often we hear and we know, but it doesn't bother us anymore. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَقْنَا, for example. لَقَدْ ذَرَقْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ. This time for the fire are many among the human beings and jinn. لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. They have hearts with which they understand not. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. The ears with which they can hear but they listen not. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. These are like beasts of burden, like animals. Why? But in fact there wasn't animals. Why? Despite being aware and being conscious of the reality, they don't care. They are heedless about these realities. So we need to make our voices heard loudly and clearly. And there is a war happening, and realize that there is a war happening in our midst. That our government, both local and national, has failed to curb the violence which has become the norm in many parts of the Cape Flats. And much more needs to be done to address the issues, the root socio-economic causes that have allowed the violence to become a norm in our society. As Muslims, we know we should love for others what we love for self. Love for yourself what you love for those around you. And to treat our neighbors as we would like to be treated. That our neighbor's concern is our concern. We cannot say to them in my house because it could happen tomorrow. But not only that, it behooves us to also be concerned about what happens to our neighbors. As the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the famous hadith, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you truly believe unless you love for your fellow human being what you love for yourself. And another version of the hadith says, "O قال لجاره ما يحب لنفسه." None of you truly believe unless you love for your neighbor what you love for yourself. As Khayr as the followers of Rasulullah, the final recipient of divine revelation, the final messenger, we are duty bound to collectively join our hearts in dedication and commitment to addressing these major issues affecting our communities and our societies. I always remind our students that the worst disease of this day and age is that of people feeling uncared for, of people feeling insecure, of people feeling unloved, unprotected. There is so much hurt and so much fear in the world, despite so much capacity for love, so much capacity for compassion, and so much capacity for security. It is increasingly becoming a world where much of humanity live in fear of some form of victimization, whether it be poverty, whether it be lack of opportunity, or whether it be violence or abuse, none of which are acceptable. We know the deep disappointment and seething anger in our township communities and squatter camps, situations that have not changed since the end of apartheid. Anger that just needs a spark. Maulana Ansari gave a lecture in 1974. When I was a young boy reading Qira'ah for that talk, and I remember he read Waylun li kulli humazatin lumaza, and he spoke, كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك نار الله الموقدة. I found it really unique how he interpreted that. He said, it doesn't mean the fire in Jahannam will rise over people. It means in this world, the anger of the people, and he warned that time, 74, 20 years before our elections, 19 years, and he said, be very careful about those who are oppressed in your land, both yourself and who are further oppressed than you, because if their needs are not met, if their justice is not restored, this is the anger that rises above their heart, and then your quotations of Deen and Quran and your homes and your mosques will not be safe. Believe me, we are heading in that direction. So we see with deep disappointment and seething anger in our townships and squatter camps that have not really changed since apartheid. They still go to the bathroom when they went. They still have no water. and no proper schooling. Anger that needs just a spark of opportunism to light the fire that could leave the townships and areas in our cities running with rivers of blood. Because those who have nothing to lose have nothing to lose. Not only they have nothing to lose, they have nothing. We are cognizant of the fact that among the underlying causes of these social ills we are witnessing in our society is often related to socio-economic challenges of poverty, of joblessness, of hunger, of landlessness, of inferior public education, of an overburdened healthcare system and limited government social services, in addition to the corruption and mismanagement by our state. This is a fertile breeding ground for revolution, but in the meantime also for gangsterism, for crime, for violence, and for drug peddling. All of this necessitates engaging and tackling the broader ideals of social justice and of human equality, of human dignity, both individually but also as a collective, as a community. We as South Africans pride ourselves on the spirit of Ubuntu, this heritage of Ubuntu, humanity to others, about consciously caring, about being compassionate, about deepening our understanding and appreciation of our society, while simultaneously empathizing with the challenges faced by those around us. It is therefore a shameful reflection of this very same South Africa that this nation of Ubuntu is plagued not by some form of violence, but by a preponderance or plethora of violence, of gender-based violence in particular as well, and an increasing scourge of women and children being killed. Many females are terrorized by the constant fear that they are forced to live in. And as people of faith, we are expected to be people of conscience. And therefore, we should prioritize doing far more to ensure that women and children are living in a society free from fear and are made to feel secure to live meaningfully and fulfilling lives. Part of the etiquette, the culture of people of faith, is to have mercy on the young, compassion for the young. As we demand respect for the elder, as the Rasul said, that ليس منا من لم يرحم صغيرنا ولم يعرف شرف كبيرنا. That person is one of us, the young one who has no respect for the elder, and the elder who has no compassion for the young. As Shaykh, we are duty bound to collectively join our hearts and our minds in dedication and commitment to addressing these major issues affecting our communities. I want to conclude by reminding ourselves that an essential part of Karamatul Insan, of honoring the human being, of human dignity, is to recognize that both genders are an integral, interdependent component of society. We need to move away from the notion of this patriarchal, male chauvinistic attitude that we have. And therefore it's important to realize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes reference to this integral, interdependent connectedness when it says وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. The believing male and female, the believing male and the believing females are protectors of each other. Such a centering of human dignity implies and demands that we work at all levels of society, whether governance, economy, education, criminal justice system, the religious discourses, the religious institution, education institutions, or in the family, and interpersonal gender relations, that we foster the notion of human rights, and women's dignity in particular. We have to create conditions for our sisters, for our women, for the ladies, whether they are our daughters, our sisters, or our wives, to live lives of personal bodily freedom, a freedom and an environment secure from violence or the threat of violence. And I believe that one of the best things that we could do today to enhance respect for our women and to stem the tide of femicide and gender-based violence is by beginning to nurture a culture of respect in our very homes. Abuse of women and disregard and disrespect for wives and mothers and daughters is not absent amongst the homes. So I believe that one of the best things we can do, I reiterate, is to enhance respect for our women by beginning to nurture a culture of respect in our homes, ensuring that our mothers are honored, that we have affection for our wives, appreciation for our sisters, and be loving guides for our daughters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant, in this time of tremendous strife and turmoil in the world, that the shining light of people of faith, because Allah is Nur al-Samawati wal-Ard, and the Rasul came with Jab min Allahi Nurun wa Kitabun Mubin, that the light, the divine light of guidance that reflected in the life of Rasulullah, that we become reflectors of that light. When we say we're Muslims, we are part of those candles taken from the lamp of Rasulullah. So whatever darkness there may be, we can remove that and we can implement the prophetic character and the prophetic style and the prophetic example. As we know, Shaykh Saadi Shirazi said, بَلَغَ الْعُلَى بِكَمَالِهِ كَشَفَ الدُّجَى بِجَمَالِهِ. You have reached the highest state of Prophet of Allah by the perfection of your character. كَشَفَ الدُّجَى بِجَمَالِهِ. This is important. He removed darkness not by preaching and something, but the collectivity of who you are. كَشَفَ الدُّجَى. He removed darkness by his beauty. حَسُنَتْ جَمِيعُ خِصَالِهِ. How good, how wonderful are all his characteristics. صلوا عليه وآله. Salutation upon him and his family. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.